chica Rojas Vargas, and my first language is Spanish. I had the opportunity to learn English in first grade because the school that I went to, our teachers spoke to us in Spanish from kindergarten up to third grade, and then after I was just primarily in English. Of course, that wasn't the case for everyone, only for those of us who only knew one language. And in order to help me learn the language, I was facing an after-school class. It was really fun and I always looked forward to it. I got the opportunity to meet other teachers and other students as well. Thanks to that, I was able to pass the LPAC later on, and the LPAC test is something that us English learners have to take in order to demonstrate that we are able to add English as our second language. When I found out I had passed it, I was so happy because that meant that I was able to do things on my own now. Before, I had to ask help from other students or teachers who spoke Spanish because I needed help with the translation, depending on what the teacher said, or if I needed to communicate with other students. Not only that, but I also needed help with homework because I didn't really understand a lot of it. And I was also able to help translate for my parents. Not just them, but also for strangers that we saw at stores that had trouble communicating with the employees. I have been doing that for a lot of years, and it was something that I grew up to love. So I have decided to major in Spanish and be able to get a job as a Spanish interpreter to help others who are also in the same situation as my parents. Not only has English helped me with that, but it also helped me with the job that I have now, because I am able to get a job with English, not Spanish, but with English, and we are there just to help the students who are English learners, just like I was. And that is something that brings me a lot of joy because it's basically like a whole cycle of me starting with not knowing English, and now I'm helping those who still need help with English. So that is something that I am really grateful for, and I really hope to help a lot of people once I get the job that I wish to get later on in the future.
For the first few years of our friendship, my childhood best friend, Lily, thought that my name was Blue instead of Drew because I never spoke, and when I did, I usually said words incorrectly. "Can you please open the bait?" I'd ask. "Bait? Don't you mean gate?" Someone was always there to correct me. It wasn't until second grade that I started going to speech therapy. Once or twice a week, I'd be pulled out of class and taken to an office space where a lady would hold up photos of animals and ask me what their names were. "What's this?" she'd say. "A taiga," I'd say, proud. "No," she shook her head. "A tiger," and enunciated the R like she was growling at me. Simply put, the voice that I have now took years of practice. While my friends were learning 9 times 9, I was learning how to say my name. And born from this speech impediment, what a lot of people don't tell you when you have to go to speech therapy is this air of general insecurity, this idea that whenever I open my mouth to speak, I'm going to say something wrong, and someone is going to make fun of me, or someone is going to correct me, and I'm never going to be able to surpass that moment. And so because of this, I learned how to stay quiet, unless directly prompted. However, this changed. In fact, it kind of had to change because I was required to take a language in 7th grade. And I started taking Mandarin classes. And at first, Mandarin classes were literally the most terrifying thing I could ever think of. It was 60 minutes, 3 times a week, in which I had no other choice but to speak, because you have to talk when you're learning a language. You have to make those mistakes. But I soon realized that these buzzwords that often come around when you're learning a language, things like repetition, memorization, determination, hard work, whatever comes to mind, don't matter as much as this general concept of letting go of your ego, of learning how to be secure and feeling insecure. And learning a language, as cheesy as it sounds, made my life better because it quite literally gave me my voice. It was a space in which 60 minutes every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I had a space in which I was supposed to be wrong. I was allowed to be wrong, and I was supposed to be wrong. And I didn't have that in any other aspect of my life. And now, 10 years later, I am still taking Mandarin, and I still consider it a space in which I am free to be wrong, and I am supposed to learn how to be wrong and feel okay doing that. And although now I can say my name, Drew, I still sometimes have a little bit of fear in speaking. And I think that's all right. But learning a language helps. Thank you.
Hola, mi nombre es Artis y estudio el idioma español. Hi, my name is Artis and I study Spanish. Last year, I heard a song that I hadn't heard since my sister and I danced at our elementary school Spanish festival. I knew about as much Spanish as any 8-year-old kid would in elementary school, but I can remember hearing the rhythm and words of this song distinctly. It was a song by Afro-Peruvian artist Eva Ayllón in the festejo music style, which celebrates emancipation and Black history in Latin America. But in elementary school, we learned the basics. We didn't have Spanish at my middle school, which meant that I had to pick it back up in high school. But when I finally got there, I was so afraid to speak and make mistakes in Spanish class. Spanish was one of those classes that you actually had to talk in to show that you understood the material, but I was petrified. One of my teachers pulled me aside one day and told me, if you're afraid to make mistakes in Spanish, you will never grow. I know you know the material, but you have to lose your fear of speaking. Make mistakes. Just do your best. From that moment on, with her support and the support of all of my Spanish teachers, I gave the language my all. Another one of my teachers, who speaks 4 languages, inspired me to make connections to different cultures that would help me learn and remember vocabulary. Going to college, I didn't know what I was going to major in, and I switched my major several times. But the one thing that remained consistent was my Spanish minor. I took classes in critical reading, conversation, grammar, and even a cooking class in Spanish for a whole semester. I graduated college a few weeks ago, and I've had time to reflect on my Spanish journey. In my 4 years of college, I became the vice president of the Spanish Club, interpreted a parent-teacher conference night at an elementary school, became a Spanish tutor on campus, was selected to translate a university conference, and went on a 2-week study abroad to the Dominican Republic, where I was the only person out of our faculty and student group who spoke Spanish. From being afraid to speak in class, to interpreting conversations in Spanish in another country about topics like HIV and AIDS and community engagement, I can say that Spanish has given me a way to grow and learn about myself and the world around me. I've used Spanish to help bridge gaps between people, to make friends, and to learn more about social issues. And I hope to continue using the language to solve problems and develop and communicate equitable solutions. Finding that Eva Ayllón song reminded me again why I love Spanish. Festejo, the music genre, translates into the word celebrate. And I love learning Spanish because I can celebrate my journey every day. I can see the path I was on, and I can keep walking on it. I can make mistakes and fall down, but I can get back up y seguir adelante and keep learning.